Icebox is the new map in Valorant that just came out last week with Act 3. The first thing you'll probably notice about the map is that it has significantly more up-down angles compared to what you might be used to. The added verticality has resulted in Icebox being one of the more difficult maps in the game to figure out. In this video, we'll provide you with several important tips to help you learn the new map and figure out its quirks. Hopefully, it'll prepare you so that when it drops in competitive, you'll be ready for it. On Icebox, these are the primary choke points that defenders need to hold: B green, bottom of mid, A main, and A belt. For a short breakdown, B green has two entry points for attackers, from garage and from their spawn. Characters like Omen and Jet can easily set up a one-way smoke on top of the garage entryway and block out the whole choke. Because the choke is so far away from spawn, defenders need to rush out to defend it the moment the round begins. Another important feature of this choke point is the shipping containers. Characters with vertical mobility can get on top of them for a vantage point to surprise the enemy team. Last but not least, be aware of the space between the floor and the elevated container. You won't be able to headshot an enemy through the container unless they crouch. The bottom of mid, on the other hand, is a bit of a death trap. Attackers can choose to push B tube, push under B tube, or mid pallets, but defenders have very good positioning with how the area is designed. Mid boiler is an excellent holding spot that has a clear sight of the choke point, and the defender there, if not smoked off, can prevent anyone from pushing those locations. We'll talk more about mid later in the video, as controlling it is a huge part of playing on Icebox. Attacking A site is a little bit different. The site has loads of different height angles, and realistically, there's two ways to approach it on attack. Going through A main on the floor is one of them. If you stick close to A pipes, you'll be able to find a nice angle to peek the site from. Alternatively, you could hop into A nest as well, but defenders on site might be able to catch you doing that. A belt, on the other hand, gives you a good spot to contest the higher angles within A. Attackers will be able to get a good look at the site and rafters from there. Characters with jumps will be able to push down the right hand side and play a more vertical game, which when coordinated with an A main push can be very hard to defend against. 2 points of note: whatever you do, don't jump to the main floor from A belt. You'll take fall damage. The other thing is that since you have to run up the stairs, defenders will be able to set up angles before you get to the top, so you'll have to smoke some people off. Due to how these choke points are set up, Cypher is easily one of the best characters on defense on Icebox. Because defenders can hit each choke from multiple angles, he can use his camera to figure out which angles aren't being covered by attacking teams and get some sneaky kills. His trap wires give him a huge amount of control over the angles he can't watch either, allowing him to solo hold and prevent attackers from gaining enough ground for a plant. Controlling mid is of dire importance on Icebox because it allows your team to make plays regardless of which side you're on. Attackers want to control mid because it makes a B site execute very easy. If they succeed, they can push up B tube, push under and or over B tube, lurk and cover the rotations from A, and flank defenders holding the B green choke. On the other hand, if defenders control mid, they're able to push through mid and flank attackers who are trying a B site or an A site execute. It's really important that you're guarding mid as either side until your team starts dying. Both sides gain a large advantage if you just abandon it, and you'll end up losing the round real quickly if you die to a flank. There's a couple of notable features for the site that you should be aware of. The high ground walls around A site are very easily wall banged. Be careful of enemy oppers or even vandal sprays if you're holding from there. You can shoot through B fence to hit defenders rotating or attackers that are planting on site, or vice versa. Ziplines will reduce your accuracy such that a person who's expecting you should always be able to net the kill. However, if an enemy isn't expecting it, you could still land a good spray at close range or some one taps at long range. This tip's really simple. Watch out for these 3 cubbies when you're pushing through them. It's very easy for a player to just camp in one of these to catch someone on a flank or a rotate. You'll also feel really cheesed when it happens. Or you could be the camper and hate yourself for what you've become.
Buried.
Characters with vertical mobility have a wider range of plays available to them because they can get into spots that are hard for enemies to expect or play against. If you time getting on high ground right, it's a lot easier for you to shoot them than the other way around, especially if they're in the open. You can move back and forth to use your ground as cover, whereas enemies will be stuck in the open. Currently, only Omen, Jett, and Raze are really able to make use of Icebox verticality, giving them extra advantages on the map and making them more attractive agents to play on Icebox. Icebox has a number of really useful one-way smokes that can help with attacking or defending some of the primary choke points. The smokes we'll demonstrate will be with Omen, as he's the easiest to pull them off with, but Jett, Brimstone, Viper, and Cypher should be able to find ways to make smokes in the same spots. We'll montage these. That's all we have for this video. We've covered most of the things that we could figure out in the first couple days of its release, but as time goes on, we're sure that you'll end up finding out some secrets that didn't make it into this guide. We hope you've enjoyed this video and hope it gives you an advantage once you start playing on this new map. If you've enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and check out some of our other Valorant content.